I'm Jennifer Reyna, and you're watching KHOU 11+. Now, according to the Texas Department of Transportation, hundreds of people die every year due to distracted driving. All week, we've been breaking down what you need to know when it comes to distracted driving, from the impacts to prevention and even new legislation. But let's start with the statistics around the issue.
Distracted driving is one of the leading causes of crashes on our roads. Everybody knows this. And phones are not always to blame, though. Jennifer Reyna explains.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. It's a danger many of us don't think twice about, but experts say it's one of the leading causes of crashes on the road today. And it doesn't always look like texting. Sometimes it's simply a wandering mind. Distracted driving is defined as anything that takes your attention away from driving, and the consequences can be deadly. According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, distracted driving contributed to 29% of all roadway crashes in 2023. That same year, on average, 9 people lost their lives every day. Here in Texas, the numbers are especially alarming. 403 deaths and more than 20,700 serious injuries were linked to distracted driving last year alone. And experts say the real toll may be even higher because drivers rarely admit when distraction played a role.
But it's important for drivers to remember that taking your eyes off the road for just 2 seconds can double your chances of being involved in a crash. And just think about how you would feel if you caused a crash that claimed someone's life.
I mean, the bottom line, whether it's a text, a thought, a glance, it can wait, because staying focused behind the wheel saves lives.
Everyone wants to get from point A to point B and back safely, just like Maria Espinosa, who nearly lost her son to a distracted driver. Yet in many cases across the state of Texas, this is tragically not the case. Behind every statistic is a life, including the life of Maria Espinosa's now 20-year-old son, Maciel Rico, who was nearly killed by a distracted driver at the age of 6 while walking through a school zone with his mom.
If the driver that day never has some texting on his phone, the Maciel crash never would happen.
Leaving him with an arm implant, double vision, and learning how to walk and eat all over again.
Maciel spent over 3 months in coma and suffered a traumatic brain injury. He went through countless surgeries and physical therapy for more than 1 year.
Lives forever changed knowing these tragedies are preventable.
We launched a new campaign in December, Drive Like a Texan, encouraging people to be more courteous on the road.
Why is this campaign so important?
We don't want injuries. We don't want fatalities. We want life for all of our Texans. And that is why it's so very important that you do not talk text when you are in the car, that you do not put on your makeup, that you're not trying to eat a sandwich, because you need both hands on the wheel.
Devon Romming, KHOU 11 News.
So grateful to that mother for bringing that story to emphasize. It just makes it so much more real to hear her and to see those images.
I mean, it's so tempting for a lot of us. We're on the move, but to think about just killing somebody or even just changing their life forever, that poor little boy. Welcome back. The time now is 6:13. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month. And all month long and all week, we have been talking about distracted driving. So I did want to tell you a little bit more about that. I've been telling you about that problem, bringing you the problems, and also trying to bring you solutions. And according to TxDOT last year, there were over 94,000 distracted driving related crashes in Texas, resulting in nearly 400 deaths and 2,700 serious injuries. This morning, we're going to dive deeper into the legal consequences of distracted driving. Since September 1st, 2017, it has been illegal to read, write, or send a text while driving in the state of Texas. Violators can face a fine of up to $200. It starts off small, between $25 and $100, but if you keep getting pulled over for distracted driving, the fines keep rising. If your distracted driving causes someone else to get hurt or pass away, the consequences shift. We spoke to Matthew Mentor, a senior trial attorney here in Houston, about what can happen to you.
Depending on how hurt they are, there are very serious consequences. If somebody is fatally injured by your negligent conduct, you could go to prison. You could be faced with civil lawsuits.
A split second could change your life or someone else's and have lifelong effects. And the biggest thing Mentor spoke about, it can wait.
If you hurt somebody, if you hurt yourself, that is something that can change somebody's life. And so it can wait.
I know it seems so simple, but yes, it can wait. Our coverage continues tomorrow with the science behind distracted driving. We take a closer look at what is actually happening with your brain when you take your eyes off the road.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and experts say that despite being preventable, distracted driving still happens.
Oh, it happens a lot. TxDOT says it's the second most common factor in Texas crashes last year. That's only what people admit. There's already a law in place, and another could now be on the way. Here's KHOU 11's Julissa Garza to explain.
Distracted driving is anything that takes your attention off the road. That includes texting or talking.
In a nanosecond, you can have an accident.
Since September 2017, Texas law has prohibited reading, writing, or sending electronic messages while driving, but it doesn't ban all handheld phone use.
The laws help because they will give an opportunity for correction.
Here's what the law says. Drivers with learner's permits can't use phones in their first 6 months. Drivers under 18 can't use handheld devices, and using a device in a school zone is illegal.
Texting while driving is a Class C misdemeanor under the Texas Transportation Code. It's currently punishable for first-time offenders, up to a $100 fine, minimum of $25. Like all Class C misdemeanors, it's a fine-only offense, and it can escalate if you've had multiple convictions.
And while we often think of drunk driving when it comes to deadly wrecks, distracted driving can be just as devastating.
It does say you can be punishable up to a Class A misdemeanor if it's proven that the texting while driving did result in the death or serious bodily injury of another person. And a Class A misdemeanor in the state of Texas is punishable by up to a year in the county jail and up to a $4,000 fine.
Right now, new legislation is pending. Senate Bill 47, also known as Allie's Way Act, named after a 2-year-old who was killed by a distracted driver. The bill would ban all handheld phone use while driving, including calls, texts, and social media, requiring drivers to go fully hands-free.
We need our legislators and local advocates to keep their finger on the pulse of what the people are doing on the roadways so that we can always be able to have a level of accountability.
In Houston, drivers are allowed to use hands-free devices like Bluetooth headsets or voice-activated assistants like Siri or Google Assistant. But even if you're using a hands-free device, you can still be cited for distracted driving if you lose focus on the road. In the newsroom, Julissa Garza, KHOU 11 News.
Now listen to this, 5 seconds. That's the average time it takes to read a text or an email. But behind the wheel, that's like driving an entire football field completely blindfolded. It's a dangerous risk that too many drivers are still taking, and technology is making it worse. Smartphones are more than a temptation. They're a triple threat when you're driving. They distract your eyes, your hands, and your mind all at once. That combination is one of the leading causes of serious crashes on the road.
Make it a habit to put your phone out of reach if you're going to be tempted to use it.
Even built-in car technology isn't always safe. New features like navigation and infotainment systems can improve comfort, especially for older drivers, but they also increase risk.
It is supposed to make drivers safer, but as we all know, when using this type of technology, for example, you say, call Kara, and all of a sudden it says calling Sarah. It's very confusing for drivers. They have to then look at the screen to see who they're calling, stop that call, and restart the process over again.
Many smartphones now include a driving focus mode to silence texts and calls while on the road. Some vehicles also offer voice commands or alerts to help reduce screen time behind the wheel.
It's important to program your GPS. It could save your life, it could save their life, it could save someone else's life out there on the roadway.
That exact thing has happened to me so many times. I say something into Siri and then it's wrong, and then I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh crap.
It's a lot. It's even passengers in the car, or maybe even your kids.
The kids.
Things that you're just like, it seems harmless, but it can like take your mind off of the road for even just a second,
Yeah.
So before you drive, take a moment to silence all of those distractions. No message is obviously worth the risk.